All right, guys, so here's where we are on our 49 Chevy Hot Rod build. We've got 2 weeks left until our deadline. We've been thrashing on this thing for a while. If you've been following along with the videos, you know what all we've done, and it's been a lot. We built this truck a long time ago. It was a super nice truck. We've basically brought it up to date. The owner had some ideas. He kind of let us run wild with it for the most part. So we ended up doing this full custom rear section with the split bumper. Go back and check out those videos. We talk a lot about this and how we came up with it. We've got the new roaster shop chassis under here. The bed floor is all built. We've got the wood. It's all stained, ready to go in. We're ready to fire it up. So we're hoping in the morning we're going to fire it up, make sure everything is happy. And what we're doing right now is we need to start getting some of the interior in it. So all the body panels are now hung. Everything's looking really good. And man, we're getting close, and I'm tired. It's also really cold outside. Well, to me anyway. It doesn't really get that cold around here, but right now it's 20 degrees outside and it's snowing. So I don't like it. I like it hot, and it's not hot at all. So we're going to keep on working on the truck. Perfect time to do that, I guess. So on the interior, the first thing we're going to do is the carpet. What we're using is Apex square weave carpet. I really love it. It's like a German weave style carpet. Apex calls it their square weave. We're going to do it in a few different pieces, and we're going to bind it in leather for a nice custom look. So the first thing that we want to do is get everything cleaned out of the interior. So we've got it all vacuumed out, got everything nice and clean, looking good. You'll notice some of the channels in the floor, some of the factory stamping, we went ahead and taken 1/4 inch closed cell foam, and we filled all those little channels with 1/4 inch foam. Once we fill it with 1/4 inch foam, we block it flat with the floor. So then the next thing we're going to do is take a few measurements, and we're going to pull a big piece of 1/4 inch foam, and we're going to glue that down. We're going to make sure that we're gluing the 1/4 inch foam and also spraying glue on the surface of the floor. Once we let those tack up for quite a while, 15, 20 minutes, we're then ready to put that down. Once we put that down, we can do a little sanding over it to get any imperfections out, but I'm actually going to add one more layer of the 1/4 inch foam. That's going to give us a 1/2 inch foam on top of our floor, and then we're going to block this out like we're blocking body work. So I've got 120 grit on a block. We're going through, we're blocking down any of our high spots. We're trying to get the floor super level. We want it nice and straight through there where it just really looks seamless and flows together. So now that we've got all that blocking done, we're ready to start the carpet process. So I know that I want to do 3 pieces in there. I'm going to do a center section, and then I'm going to do 2 side sections, and our 2 side pieces that follow kind of the toe board and come down the side of the truck beside the seats, we're gonna have a leather bound edge on that. So I'll show you how we do all that, but the first thing we need to do is make a template for it, and I've got a really easy way to do that. So we'll start laying it out, we'll start kind of drawing out what we want this to be on our template, and then we'll start cutting carpet and get this thing sewn together and get it all glued in, and then we can just keep on to the interior, because most of the other pieces are already done. You can go back and check out the seat video and doing the seat panels and some of the other panels in the truck. So they're all wrapped and ready to go in. So once we get the carpet done, should fly right through it. Should. Also, if you go back and watch one of these upholstery videos where we're using closed cell foam, there's about a 2-minute clip in there where I've got a foam booger. There was nothing I could do about it because we'd already shot everything. So make sure I don't have any of those today. This stuff gets everywhere. You can see on the running boards, just a little bit of blocking. It's like it snowed in here. There's snowing outside. Okay, so now we're ready for the template, and this is what we're going to use. I've showed this a little bit before, but when it comes to sections where you've got a lot of curves or bends, there's different thicknesses of this convertible top window. So if you have a upholstery supply shop close to you, the convertible top windows that are in the back, the ones that are plastic, I love using that for templates. One, because you can see through it. You can draw your Sharpie marks or whatever on it and know exactly where it's going to be. There's really no guessing there. So this is 16 gauge convertible top window. This is really easy to work with because it's so thin, and you can get this stuff pretty thick. I like the thicker stuff when I'm working on more of a flat surface, that's going to be a solid panel. But when you have humps, which we don't have a very big hump in here, but we've got enough of a hump that it needs to contour down, and that thick stuff wants to wrinkle up, and it's hard to work with. So we're going to pull out a piece, start laying it down, and see if we can template this thing out. When you do it this way, with this convertible window top, it just normally makes it go so quick. It's where you're not spending a lot of time trying to figure out what you're going to do. Where are my scissors? All right, so before we take that over to the table and cut any out, I'm going to pull some rough measurements. I know the first piece we're going to lay down is going to be the center section, and it will actually be the first piece that we glue down because it won't have any leather bound edges on it. So we want to lay that down first, and then the ones that we sew the leather on are going to lay over the top of that piece. So I know that roughly, I think I want to kind of follow this curve of the firewall that runs down into the tunnel of the floor. Maybe we could just come down here and kind of run straight back. So, since I know I roughly want to do that, I'm going to pull my measurement a couple inches wider on each side just to give myself a little bit of wiggle room there. So 18 inches is what we have there. I want my carpet to run up past the foam just a little bit. All right, so that's 27 inches right to it. So let's cut it 30. So 18 by 30. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and draw out my design of where I want the leather bound edge to be. That way I can see that through the vinyl, know the overhang that I need on this centerpiece. Normally, I would kind of follow up that tunnel, curve down, and go straight. I'm thinking on this one I might go the opposite. Just give it a little bit different look. I'm seeing that because the foam is actually kind of following that. So we could do, let's see. Alright, so now we've got our center section of our Apex square weave carpet cut out. We've got an outline of that. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting a channel in the top layer of 1/4 inch foam. That's going to leave that lower piece of 1/4 inch foam. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow this piece to glue into that channel, and it's going to keep it level with the top layer of foam. So then when we go back and add another layer of carpet over the top of this square weave with that leather bound edge, so it won't make the leather and the carpet hump up so bad because it's laying on top of this piece. They'll kind of run together a little bit smoother. All right, so our piece of carpet fits really nice after we made our template. That made it super easy to put it back into place. We've got a really clean cut down where our bound edge is going to be. That's really precise through there, and that fit down in that channel really nice, so we know that's going to look really good. So what we're doing now is we've got the apex leather laid out, and we're going to cut a strip that we're going to sew onto this. So we're going to bind this edge with a standard sewing machine. So typically you want about 1.5 inch, 2 inch strip of leather, because we're going to sew it and then we're going to wrap that edge. So we need plenty to wrap it, and then we can trim off any excess we have. So got this measuring stick. This is a wide one, so it works really nice. Instead of pulling measurements and trying to cut your strip, you can basically just trace this stick out and just cut that out. This is a few inches longer than what we need, so that's going to work out to make sure we've got enough. So let's get this cut out, start sewing. So what I'm using on the leather right now, this is a leather pin. I get these from Albright Supply. They're in the town that we're in. You can Google them, they'll pop right up. They're a huge upholstery supplier. But these are really nice. I don't like to use a pen or a Sharpie or any sort of marker on leather because it's almost impossible to get off. But if you see this leaves a silver mark, bright enough where you can see it, but the great thing about it, it rubs right off your leather, so you're not going to mess anything up. So what we're going to do is, if you go back and you watch where we made the seat covers for the seats going in this truck, a lot of the same concept to this. We're going to sew with the materials face to face. So the leather side, the nice side of the leather, is going to lay against the top side of the carpet. We're going to give us a little bit of overhang. So what we're going to do here is we're going to line up the edge of the carpet and the edge of the leather with this edge of the foot. That's going to give us a really tight stitch that's close to the edge of the material, and that's what's going to lock it down. Now we've sunk the needle, got it in place. We're going to run a lock stitch. So we're going to do 3 or 4 stitches forward, keeping the edge of the material lined up with the edge of the sew foot. Now we're going to reverse it, go back over those stitches, and then go back forward over those 3 or 4 stitches. And what that does is that's a lock stitch. That's going to prevent it from ever coming back apart. If we didn't do that and we just ran our stitch, you could take both of those materials and just pull them apart. So that's going to lock it in place to make sure it never comes apart. Now that we've got the lock stitch, we're just going to follow the edge of the material all the way down the length of the carpet. that's the first step. You can see that's what we're going to end up with. So now there's a couple of different ways we can do this, and I like doing it both ways. I guess it just depends on the mood. We're going to wrap the leather around the carpet, and then we're going to end up sinking the needle right on the inside edge of this leather, and we're going to run the sewing machine down through there, and that's going to sew it down and give it that nice edge. Now the other way we can do this is to go ahead and glue this down into place and then run our stitch. Like I said, I like doing it both ways, but I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue it. I feel like you get a lot tighter bound edge when you do that, as opposed to trying to fight it and pull it tight as you're sewing it. So we're going to glue it, but my glue gun just took a crap, so I'm going to go grab one. We'll get this glued down, sewed up. So for the glue guns, I just use these cheap gravity-fed guns. The one that just gave up on me. I think I've been using it for about 2 years, so that's pretty good, spraying some glue through it. But they had a sale going on the gun that I had for $9, and I guess everybody bought those up. So this one was 20, not terrible. Good for a glue gun. All right, so we're putting the stitch in the ditch. What I mean by that is, so now that we've glued it, it's obviously locked down, but we're gonna run a stitch right on the inside border of this leather seam. That's gonna lock this thing down, make sure it's never going anywhere. Now, where you wanna be careful is you wanna get the stitch as tight to the leather as you can, so we're trying to get right in that little ditch right there, but we're trying to also make sure we don't hop over onto the leather, because then we've ruined the whole piece. Well, once we got the leather sewn onto the carpet, we glued those two pieces in just like we did that center section. So nothing fancy there, didn't want to bore you with that. And you kind of see the finished product we get, which looks really good. When you sew that leather onto that square weave carpet, you're obviously making a thicker spot. So if you don't channel your foam, that's going to hump up. Not that that looks bad, but if you channel that foam out like we did, that carpet's going to look like one fluid piece, and you're just going to have a leather bound edge down through there, which looks really nice. So definitely check out Apex Leather and all of Apex Leather's square weave carpet, because we're using that in pretty much everything now. I've found that I've liked that the best out of everything we've been using for quite a while. Also, don't forget, we're doing the Vim Tool giveaway. That giveaway is coming up quick. We're giving 2 master socket sets away on March the 10th, just a couple of weeks away. So make sure to enter. all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel and comment Vim Tools. Also, hop over to Vim Tools channel and subscribe to those guys because they're always putting out new content. They're creating and designing new tools every day. Every time I talk to those guys, they've come up with something new, which is really cool. So check those guys out. Then also, we've got a ton of shirts over on the website. So hop over, check those out, pick yourself up a Hot Rod Shop shirt. The links to everything is down in the description below. Also on that Vim Tool giveaway, you can enter twice. All you have to do is hop over to Instagram or Facebook, find my giveaway post, and just follow those instructions there. Super easy. So appreciate you guys watching. We certainly appreciate all the support, all the nice comments, all that good stuff. We're going to keep these things coming to you. We're enjoying it. So I guess we'll see you Wednesday.